Hello student. So as we have already started our history chapter 2, the topic kings, farmers and town. So in the last class we have discussed regarding the 16 Mahajana Pad, and out of the 16 Mahajana Pads, the major Mahajana Pad was there, that is Vaji, Magad, Kuru, Koshal, Gandhar, Panchal, Avanti. So out there, Magad was the most powerful, and we also have studied regarding the factor that led to the rise of Magad into power. The factor that we have discussed was the fertility of the land, ability of iron mines. Elephant was available in forests and cheap means of communication, which we have studied in details in our last class. So in our today's class we will discuss regarding an early empire, and the finding out of the Mauryan Empire is administrative systems, and apart from that how it has become important in the history. And lastly, we will discuss regarding the new notions of kingships and divine king. So before I start, a short introduction of Chandragupta Maurya. So founder of Maurya Empire was been founded by Chandragupta Maurya in 321 BCE. So how he has become the king, there before that early there was a short story was there in short, that Dhananand, the ruler of Nanda dynasty, in his when he was a king, in his court he called Kautilya. So you all know who was Kautilya, the Chanakya. He was been called in his court, and Dhananand has humiliated him very badly, and Chanakya felt very bad, and when he was returning back from his kingdom, he was only thinking how to take revenge from him of his insult. So on his way he saw some children were playing. So when the children were playing, then one of the children was playing the role of a king, and other has become the soldier. And the child which was playing the role of a king, the Chanakya, he has seen that the child who was playing the role of a king, he was having all the good qualities of a king. Chanakya went to the child further, and he talked with him and asked him the permission that he want to take the child with him and want to provide him all the knowledge and all the knowledge, as because the child was having all the good quality of a king, he will provide him all the knowledge, and also provide him the knowledge of equipment, that was shastra, and how to fight battle. And he has taken the child and he has provided all the knowledge of equipment, shastra, and how to fight battle he has taught him. And that child name was Chandragupta. So when he became capable, he has fought battle with Dhananand and defeat him and became the king. This is just a basic story. So now let us start our chapter in details. So now let us start our today's topic, an early empire, under its comes finding about the Mauryas, administrating the empire, how important was the empire. Next topic will be new notion of kingship, under its come include chiefs and king in the south, divine king. So our first topic, finding about the Mauryas. Under out here the Mauryan Empire chart, you can see the founder was Chandragupta Maurya. Sources which help us to know was the archaeological finding, account of Megaliths, Kautilya Arthasastra, and inscription of Ashoka. So Mauryan Empire was founded by Chandragupta Maurya in 321 BC. He became the king when he has dethroned the last Nanda ruler, that is Dhananand, and he became the king of Maurya Empire with the capital at Patliputra. He also has defeated Secula's Nicator, who was a general of Alexander in northwest India in 305. And after defeat, they have signed a treaty in which Seculus has to give Chandragupta Eastern Afghanistan, Baluchistan, and area of West Indies, and in return, Chandragupta has also given 500 elephant to seculars and got married his daughter with him. Megasthenes, account of Megasthenes, Megasthenes was sent by seculars to Mauryan court as a Greek ambassador, and where he wrote a book named Indica. In that book, it was mentioned about the administrations, military, and the capital, that is Patliputra. About all this, it was been explained in details in the book of Megasthenes. Arthashastra was been composed by Kautilya. His name we all know as Chanakya, and his original name was Vishnu Gupta, and he was believed to be the minister of Chandragupta Maurya. Now, Arthashastra actually it means a book that is related to economic and financial description, but it out here it was the book in which it about the king and his council, civil and criminal law based on tradition was been written. Now, Mauryan Empire was also been mentioned in later Buddhist, Jain and Puranic literature as well as Sanskrit literature, where in this literature it was written about the Mauryan Empire and what type of kingship was there during that time. Now, Ashoka, who was the first ruler of the Mauryan Empire, he had inscribed his message on stone, rocks, and pillar. Why? So that the coming generation will be able to read the message and follow it. So, these are the sources which help us to know about the Mauryan Empire. Now, Ashoka, who was the first ruler of Mauryan Empire, he has inscribed his message in rock, engraved in stone surface, rock and pillar, so that the coming generation would be able to read it. And he also has given the concept of Dhamma, and in his message he has said that the first message was live in peace, that is non-violence, and second one was love one others and respect each others. So that he has said the people to live in peace, and secondly he has also said that love one another and respect each other. He had also said in third message was that children should obey elders and elders should treat children with understanding. And apart from that, he has also said that people should be truthful and charitable, that which we call in Hindi Danshil. And the most he has also said the people should be very kind-hearted towards the slave and servant, and the most important was that he has said that people must respect all religion and tradition other than one's. This was the message which was given by Ashoka. Now, why this message was been given? When Ashoka had fought battle, that is Kalinga War, during that battle was very brutal, as because many people has died, blood was scattered everywhere. When Ashoka had seen all this, he became very sad and he had started to follow Jainism and spread the message. So this way, the others was our next one, the administration of Mauryan Empire. You can see what is the administration out here. First one was that major political center, second ruthless policy of ruler, communication network, dhamma, specialized officer, army. So, in the administrations of the Mauryan Empire, there were 5 major political center was there in the empire. Out of that, the first important and the strongest was the capital, that is Patliputra, which was very strong and powerful. And other one was the provisional center, that is Ujjain, Tosila, Taxila, Suvarnagiri. So the Suvarnagiri was been named by other name was also there, that was the Golden Mountain. These all were mentioned in Ashoka inscription. and the administrative system was controlled very strongly in the area around the capital and the provisional center. So where the capital and provisional center was there, in that sector the administrative system was very strong, and whatever area it used to cover, that also used to be very strongly administered. And out there the center was chosen very carefully, such as Taxila and Ujjain, as both are situated at long distance, but was important. Why it was important? You can see the map out here. This Taxila is out here, this one, and Ujjain was out here. You can see a long distance gap was there, and this too was been selected as an important center as because for trade, and this was being guided strongly. Administrative center was there, meaning that chosen carefully, and because it was important for trade, so for that this too was been selected and have a great strong outlook in this two sector. And communication network, that is a communication facility, was also there by both land and riverine route was followed. Journey to center and provinces, means that means journey from center to provinces used to take more than a week. So during this journey, protection was required, because if it take a week, a protection was required as because they might be attacked by the enemy. So for that protection used to be given, and for them that along with them army used to move as a security for their protection. So next one we can see the army sector out here. In the book written by Megasthenes, that is the Indica, in that book he has mentioned about a community, that is community of military community, which had sub community for coordinating military activity. Out there he has mentioned the military community. So, and that military community was having 6 sub community which will look after the military activity. First sub community look after the navy. Second one used to look after the transport, used to manage the transport provinces. Third one is responsible for foot soldier. Fourth one was responsible for the horse. Fifth one for the responsible for chariot, and sixth one was responsible for the elephant. So this sub community was military activities was divided into 6 sub community, which was having their own responsibility to look after it. So Ashoka, that is Dharma, Ashoka had tried to propagate Dharma, and he was holding his empire on the basis of Dharma principle, whose principle was very simple and unique and could be universally applicable. Now, a specialized officer, Ashoka used to train a specialized officer. So out here you can say Rajuka, Dhamma Mahamanta, Patni Dakas. So out here Rajuka, what was the role of Rajuka as an officer? He used to measure the land, survey it and assess it, and he used to make a record and submit it to the king. Dhamma Mahamanta was also a specialized officer. They have been appointed to spread the message of Dharma in different region. Other one, Patni Dakas, he is responsible to collect all the report of grievances and problem of the people, common people, and he used to report it to the king so that their problem could be solved out. Other one was that, wow, this center was important. How important was this center? Center was important as historian has reconstructed history in the 19th century, and in that 19th century historian came to know that Mauryan Empire, about the Mauryan Empire, and it considered it as an important landmark. Why emerge of Mauryan Empire was regarded as important landmark? There is a question, as because it will inculcate, because this empire has inculcated the feeling of nationalism, among the people, as because in the 19th century India was under colonial rule and Britishers saw India as primitive, backward and incapable to rule themselves. So in that situation, when the people came to know regarding the existence of the Mauryan Empire, it gave a sense of motivation to struggle against the colonial rule. That means it gives a motivation to the people to fight for their right against the colonial rule. So the emergence of empire give a sense of pride to the people and unite people in account to set the history and its culture. So, by the 2nd century BC, new chiefdoms and kingdom emerged in several parts of the subcontinent. This shows us a new topic, that is our notion of kingship, that is chiefs and kings in the south, that is kings in south. What are the sources from where we get? Tamil Sangam text, kingdom was Chola, Cheras, Pandus, and this all three was very prosperous. Western and Central India, Satavahanas, Shakas, Kushans, these were there. So the new kingdom that emerged in the Deccan and further south include the chiefdom, and that was of the Cholas, Cheras and Pandys in Tamilakam, that is where, which is present day Tamil Nadu, Andhra Pradesh and Kerala. About this kingdom, we came to know through the source, that is Tamil Sangam text, in which poem was described in the way in which chief and king used to acquire the resources and how they used to distribute it. Means the king and chief and king, how they used to acquire the resources and how they used to distribute among the people. This kingdom was prominent and stable. However, lot of small kingdoms and chiefdom came during this period. Chiefs was powerful, and chiefdom used to be maintained on the basis of hereditary system was there, and they used to be supported by the relatives. There used to be the leader in war. They also, in the war, if they are going for a war, a leader used to be there, and they also used to perform special ritual, and the leader always try to solve out the dispute too. Chief also used to get gifts from the well-wishers, but they never give with them the gift that they used to get. They always used to distribute among the people. They were not like the king who used to collect the tax, but for the long distance trade, many chiefs and king, including Satavahana, they used to collect tax, and they also sometimes claimed the social status, and they used to talk regarding the religious ritual, how is to be followed, and what type of marriage should be performed. So that was the chief and kings in the south, and that was the notions of kingship. Next one is our divine king. Out here you can say the status of divine, that was Kushanas. The sources is out there. In 4th century Gupta Empire was there. Chandragupta first, Samudragupta first, Chandragupta second. So out here there was some kings who wanted, why divine king, as because there was some king who wanted to get high status and also identify themselves with varieties of God. So there, during that time period, there was some king who used to identify themselves as the God. So out there, the divine king was Kushans. Why? Because he has implemented his best strategy as he used to have. Why he has implemented best strategy? As because Kushan used to have a huge vast empire which extend from Central Asia to Northwest India. So as he's having a vast empire, and he was controlling that empire very perfectly, and as because he was implementing his best strategy out there. So their sources of history was being collected from inscription, means from where we got their regarding them was from the sources of inscriptions, and even got evidence from coins and sculpture. As in coins and sculpture, from the coins and sculpture we get the evidence, as because in coins and sculpture they used to engrave their image with God. You could see the picture out here. This coin is there. Out here they have engraved their image, as they used to compare themselves with God. So for that, which means that they used to compare themselves with God, and there is that is of Kushan ruler have been inscription Kushan ruler was also been found at Math near Mathura with the statue of God. Similar statue were even found in Afghanistan as well. So you can see this was a statue of Kushan which was been found at Math near Mathura which is in UP. So as a statue of God. So some historian they used to feel that Kushan used to consider themselves as God, and they also used to give a high sound title. That was the title of Deva Putra. What this means, son, they were the son of God. So it has, some historians have already said that they used to give a title of high sound title, adopt high sound title. That was Deva Putra, that means the son of God. So in the 4th century, let us see, we have many evidence of the Gupta Empire. The most prominent and notable ruler of Gupta Empire was Chandragupta I, Samandragupta I, Chandragupta II, who was been also known as Vikram Aditya. So we get source of them from many inscriptions. So regarding them, we got sources from many inscriptions, but the most important was Prasasti, which was a special type of inscription which was written in praise of king. In that inscription was been written in the praise of the king. So Prasasti came from Hindu word prasansya. So Prasasti came from which word? Derived from the Hindu word which means prasansya. Now Prasasti were not literary true, but there was sometimes exaggerated of fact as well. That means it was not true, but sometimes it was exaggerated from the fact as well. So one important example of Prasasti was Prayag. So out there, Prasasti was also be known as Allahabad Pillar Inscription. Other name was Allahabad Pillar Inscription, which was a name derived from Allahabad itself. It was composed by Harisena, who was the court poet of Samundragupta first, and in that Allahabad pillar inscription it was written about the praise of the Samundragupta first. That means the praise of the king of Samundragupta first. In that Prasasti inscription it was been described.